Do you want to know all about Ocean View Beach? A big neighborhood in Norfolk, a real historic neighborhood, a lot of pros and cons about living here, a lot of opinions to be had. Well, that's what we're talking all about today, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sam Sansalone, and I'm a real estate agent in Hampton Roads, Virginia. And if it's your first time here, that's great. Glad you're here. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification too, and also the like button, and that will tell the YouTube algorithms that I'm doing a good job, and I appreciate your support. And I've been privileged to help people from all over the world, all over the country, move into this area, and I love doing it. So if you have any questions about moving to the area, or you plan to move to the area, let me know and I'll do whatever I can to help you. But today we're talking about Ocean View. This is a neighborhood, if you've talked to any locals, there's a lot of different opinions about this neighborhood. On one hand, it's got beach, which is one of the most sought after things in all of this area. At the same time, there are some drawbacks too, so we'll get into all of it. We'll go into the history about Ocean View, because there's a lot of history about Ocean View. And of course, we'll talk about where it is. The real estate here, like what kind of houses are here, how much are they, school districts, the shopping of course, and things to do in this area. Now I'll also tell you a lot about the cons to living in this area, anything that involves living in Ocean View, so you can get a good idea of what it's like to be here. Well, where is Ocean View anyway? Well, if you look on the map, you'll see, go up to the north side of Norfolk. Well, if you draw a line from the west side of that top corner, where it's called Willoughby Spit, go all the way east on that same road, that's called Ocean View Avenue. That road goes about between 6 and 7 miles and gets towards the east side of Ocean View and connects to a neighborhood called East Beach. Well, that whole strip there is what you would consider Ocean View, and just down south below that. And then kind of in the middle of the Ocean View area, there's that little section called Little Creek, which has houses all around on both sides of it. It's centered between two different military bases. The Little Creek Joint Expeditionary Base on the right, and the Norfolk Navy Base, or some would say NOB, on the left. It's just right in the middle there. But without traffic, you're only several minutes away from the Newport News and Hampton area in the peninsula. And it's pretty close to the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, which is a big plus if you do plan on commuting from one side to the other. Now we'll get into the traffic aspect later, but if there's traffic, obviously it's a lot more than that. But getting to downtown Norfolk, for instance, that's like 20 minutes or so, and getting to Town Center, Virginia Beach, that's another 20 to 25 minutes, and you're about 30 to 35 minutes away from the ocean front itself. Now the history about Ocean View. There's a lot here. Well, this area started really becoming something in the late 1800s, 1890s really. The Ocean View Park started in the 1890s, and it was one of the big destination spots for decades. People would come here by streetcar, often by ferry from different parts of the rest of the area around Hampton Roads and up north further beyond that. This big park turned into an amusement park. This Ocean View Park was situated on the corner of Granby Street and Ocean View Avenue. So around that corner there, right now where you see that big complex, it used to be that Ocean View Park. And if you look online, there's plenty of pictures and video of thousands of people flocking to this area for the games, the rides. There were clowns there, and some people talked about how crazy the clowns were. And in that amusement park, there was actually a pretty popular and iconic roller coaster named the Rocket. It had different names, but the Rocket was the most popular name, and it started in 1927. So in the 1960s, this roller coaster stopped operating. Well, in the 1970s, the late 1970s, it was actually featured in 2 movies. One was called Roller Coaster, but the last movie was The Death of Ocean View Park. This was a made-for-TV movie. You can find it on YouTube, and it features this park, but also the roller coaster specifically. This movie was supposed to mark the end of the existence of this roller coaster. They were going to use the last scene in this movie to demolish the roller coaster, which is what they did, sort of. The movie crews went out and tried to demolish this roller coaster. Well, they actually tried twice, tried to blow it up, it did not fall down. And so it wasn't until after those 2 times that they realized, let's just bulldoze this thing and get it over with. So they brought a bulldozer in, knocked it over, and that was finally the end of this Rocket roller coaster. Well, I've talked about Dumont's before, which is a popular and iconic local ice cream stand. They had their first ice cream stand in 1907 here in Ocean View. And it was a big destination spot in like the 40s and 50s. I mean, thousands and thousands of people would come, whether it be streetcar, whether it be car, whether it be ferry, to Ocean View to come for the amusement park, for the park, the rides, the games, and it was supported also because there was so much military here close by. There was a big dance hall, which was kind of like the place for singles to come and meet people also. Now let's talk about the real estate in Ocean View. Now, There's a lot of different types of houses around here. So if you look at just the Ocean View Strip where the beach is, there are a lot of $1 million, $800,000, $700,000 houses and townhouses and condos built along the water. And the big reason is because, you know, there's a lot of people wanting to live near the water. And this is, in my opinion, probably the most affordable place to get real estate on the water. You can get a condo in the water in Ocean View like around $200,000 or $300,000, but it goes up from there $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 easily. And there's a lot of new construction in this area that start in the $500,000 and $600,000 price range and go up to over $1 million plus. You will see a lot of new construction built just across the street and several blocks down. It's all houses that were mainly built in pre-existing neighborhoods on individual lots. You'll see some larger 2 or 3 story houses. A lot of the new houses are anywhere from between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet for the most part. But when you go just off the water, just across the street, the vibe can change. It depends on where you are in the street. Now that being said, there are other neighborhoods around here, like I said, that were in the Cape Cod style, smaller style houses. And a lot of these houses were built, if they weren't new construction, they were built in usually the 30s, 40s, 50s. So you see a lot of houses that have a lot of old plumbing, a lot of old electrical systems. A lot of them have been renovated. This is a place that a lot of people try and flip houses. There are also some multifamily duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, and some houses built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So there's a wide range of time periods as well and sizes. So you get just about everything in this area. The price ranges in these neighborhoods just off the water, a few blocks down south, they're actually not too bad. They start in the $150,000 to $200,000 range and go up from there. For instance, places like Kenilworth, Bayview Beach, Pimlico, Ocean View. A lot of these neighborhoods have those Cape Cod style houses, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath. One of the most in-demand neighborhoods really in all of Norfolk is a neighborhood called Pinewell. Well, this is a neighborhood just off of the beach. You can walk to the beach, but it's a really small neighborhood. It's only just several blocks. And lots of trees, sidewalks, wide streets, all tucked in the middle of this Ocean View area that just has a totally different feel to it. So people love this neighborhood. A lot of people wait for this neighborhood for a house to come up, and sometimes they'll go pretty fast. Another one that's similar is called Cape View Colony. Again, very small in the midst of other neighborhoods that are very different. And you can get a house in both of these neighborhoods anywhere from like the $250,000 to $300,000 price range up to, you can go up to $350,000, $400,000 plus. You're getting a pretty nice house for the price. Another neighborhood I want to talk about in this Ocean View area is an area called East Beach. This is some nice stuff here. Starting in the $7-ish $100,000 price range, you can go up to about $2 million on the water. They were new houses in the last several years. Still some are being built. These houses are incredible, but it's totally separate from the rest of Ocean View, even though it's just down the street. So you kind of feel like when you drive into the neighborhood, you feel like you're in a totally different world. Now schools, because this area goes so far from west to east, these school districts, as you go across from one side of Ocean View to the other, they change school districts pretty frequently. This area is served by 3 different high schools, ironically, Granby, Norview, and Lake Taylor. Then middle school, there are a couple primary ones, Northside and Azalea Gardens. And then elementary school, there are 5 primary ones, which are Ocean View, Ocean Air, Willoughby, Bayview, and Little Creek. So you get quite a bit here, and I'll drop some links so you can see the specific school districts for each area of Ocean View in each neighborhood in this general area. And I'll also drop links for the niche.com rankings so you can see what kind of schools these are. Now shopping. So how would I explain Ocean View shopping? There's not too much of it. There is some. There are lots of like local, like small little food marts, grocery stores, small ones. But none of the larger chains that you're used to, not a lot of them at least. There are a few, what's called Food Line. If you're in the south, from the southeast, you may have been familiar with Food Line. There are also a couple Harris Teeters. There's one in Ocean View that's on the western side of Ocean View that you might go to pretty frequently. I'm a big fan of Harris Teeter myself. And then if you go on the south side of Ocean View, if you keep going, you'll see another Harris Teeter as well. There are a couple Walmarts, 2 nearby. You're talking 7 to 10 minutes for a lot of these grocery stores. Target, closest one's about 15 minutes, and there are some outlet malls about 15 minutes away in the south portion of Norfolk too, which is right next to IKEA, which is 15 minutes away, and like downtown Norfolk is 20 minutes, and then Town Center, which is about 25 minutes. That's where you're gonna get most of your shopping if you don't want to stay inside of Ocean View. Well, okay, that leads us to what things are there to do in Ocean View. Beach. This area is close to the beach, so this is what it's known for. If you want to do anything and stay in Ocean View, you're gonna probably find out you're gonna be at the beach. Other than that, there's not a whole lot. There's what's called the Bank, which is like a country dancing bar, which is in the kind of the east side, close to Ocean View, but other than that, there's not a whole lot in Ocean View for things to do. The closest places would be places like Ghent, downtown Norfolk. I did a video about Ghent, I'll throw up here so you can get more of a context of other close things to Ocean View, and then Town Center as well, but most of the popular nightlife you're gonna find closer to downtown Norfolk. Now I wanna talk about the general vibe of Ocean View. This is kind of a unique vibe to this whole general area. First of all, like I said before, there are 2 Navy bases bookending both sides of Ocean View. So this area by default has a lot of military in here, so meaning a lot of transient. While there are a lot of people that have lived here for decades, there are also a lot of people in here that are coming in and out over several years, so there's lots of turnover. So the atmosphere is kind of unique because there's lots of different people that come in and out. There are places in Ocean View that I think have very specific cultures or very specific vibes, and along the ocean front itself. But once you get off of Ocean View Avenue, there's no real thing that kind of grips you. It feels kind of bland if you ask me, but you're not coming to a lot of these places for the action, all the excitement. You're coming here also possibly for an affordable house. You're coming here to be close to the beach, and you're also coming here possibly if you're in the military, you want to be close to a base. Now this area has gone down in popularity and desirability over the last several decades, which is partly the reason why the lower price points are here. But I feel like the history of Ocean View and what made Ocean View so well known for so long has kind of lost its flavor over the last several decades, and I think now they're trying to regain that. There is a museum in the library, the Pretlow Library in the Ocean View area that kind of pays tribute to the history of Ocean View, and they're trying to add more green space and trying to cultivate the environment and the experience people have when they go to Ocean View and the beach. But it's taking a long time to get there. So if you want to buy real estate in Ocean View with the anticipation of some appreciation, this might be a good place for it. I'm not going to say for sure because there are still some question marks, but at the same time, there is some opportunity here because the main reason is because you're so close to the beach and you have lots of access to military bases also. So now the cons to living in Ocean View. There are a few. First thing is that these schools are not highly ranked. I dropped some links below for niche.com school rankings, but in general, a lot of the Norfolk public schools are not known to be highly ranked in relation to other cities. So I'll drop some links so you can do more research about that. And the crime is also higher statistically in some areas here as compared to other places in the area, which is partly why the houses are priced lower. And sometimes you can feel a difference depending on where you are in this area. It doesn't mean that the whole area is like this, but you will notice a difference in some places. Another thing is the flooding. So I would not say that the flooding right on the beach is actually the biggest discussion point here. The flooding just off the beach, I'd say 3 or 4 blocks away, this is the area that floods the most and I'd say is the most problematic on a regular basis. There are several blocks in the Ocean View area that can flood enough to where it can be a bother. It's hard to pass through roads, it can come up towards the house. I'm not saying it's like devastation, but any large storm that comes in, depending on where the wind is blowing, can cause problems in this area because as you see, it's not just the ocean area, it's just below the area called Little Creek. Little Creek can often create some flooding into the streets around it. So it's not just the ocean itself, it's that creek. But not all the areas are in high-risk flood zones. So if you do have interest in being in Ocean View, it does not necessarily mean you're going to be buying a house that does require flood insurance or is in a high-risk flood zone. And I'll also drop some information below in the description about the flooding in this area. The beach is there, but outside of the beach, there's not a whole lot that's going on in Ocean View. So yes, you got the beach, but you're gonna have to find yourself driving to downtown Norfolk, to Ghent maybe, to Virginia Beach, Town Center, that kind of place, to do other things. So you're not within walking distance of lots of activity unless you want to go to the beach and some smaller restaurants and places nearby. So while there are a lot of cons here, I do think that for a lot of people, this might be a great option for value if you do want something close to the water, but even somewhere close to the peninsula like Newport News and Hampton, but also wanting to stay in the Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach side. And I think with some investment of time to research, you might find some real nice spots that you would never have thought you'd find if you hadn't considered this area. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.